Okay, hopefully you guys have already worked a little bit on this chapter 4 review from Friday. I just wanted to go over a couple of things with you guys. This part 1, solving by factoring. Your solving by factoring notes are on page 36. Hopefully on page 36 of your composition notebook. Remember that you have to get the equation equal to 0 before you can start factoring. And then your possible ways of factoring are the X puzzle, bottoms up, difference of squares. Look at your factoring notes. I would look on page 36 and on page 35 because that's your flow chart factoring. Number 3 and 4 are kind of weird. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to go over examples of 3 and 4 because we've never done anything like that. And then let you guys take a whack at 3 and 4 on your own. So on number 4 it says that an equation has roots of 3 and negative 2. The factors are x minus 3 and x plus 2. What is the equation? Okay, if I give you the factors of a quadratic equation, what do you need to do to get from the factors to the equation? Well, if they're factors, they're two things that are being multiplied. So here, if you want to write this down on a separate sheet of paper or at the back of your composition notebook or something like that where you can have it to look at, I would do that if I were you. You also could do it on the back of your review if you wanted to do that. Okay, so we have two factors. We got 2x plus 7 and x minus 3. Those are just factors that Miss Elmer made up. If we're trying to get an equation, it's obviously going to be equal to 0 because once we factor a quadratic equation, it's equal to 0 no matter what. So that's where our equation comes from. And then we have to figure out what our equation is in standard form. So we are going to FOIL, so that means 2x times x, 2x times negative 3. 2x times x is 2x squared. 2x times negative 3 is a negative 6x. Then we're going to distribute that 7 to the x and the negative 3. 7 times x is a positive 7x. And 7 times negative 3 is a negative 21. Okay, all that equals 0. The only other thing you need to do is combine like terms. Those are your x's. A negative 6x and a positive 7x leaves us with a positive 1x. We have a 2x squared. And we have a negative 21 equals 0. So this is the quadratic equation that has factors of 2x plus 7 and x minus 3. So if it asks you what is the equation, if it gives you factors, all you have to do is FOIL the factors, distribute those, make sure they equal 0. Make sure you have an equation. Don't say 2x squared plus x minus 21 is my equation. That's an expression. It has to have an equals 0 to be an equation. Okay? That's step 1. Step 1. That's problem 1. Okay? The other problem you can write down are what if the factors are x plus 9i and x minus 9i? What would the equation be? So, again, if those are factors, then the factors being multiplied together would equal 0. Okay? And you just FOIL. So here we're doing x times x, which is x squared. X times a negative 9i would be negative 9ix. It's kind of weird, but that's what happens. Here we got a positive 9ix. We're doing 9i times x, and then we're going to do 9i times a negative 9i. There's our 9ix. 9 times negative 9 is a negative 81. I times I is I squared. Okay, since it's an equation, it has to equal 0. We're going to combine like terms. I have a negative 9ix and a positive 9ix, which means those cancel each other out. Refresher, what happens when you have an I squared? I squared is always equal to negative 1. So it's a negative 81 times a negative 1. It's a positive 81. So we have left our x squared and a plus 81. That's equal to 0. Cool. That's it. That's your equation. Hope that helps. On 3 and 4. Part 2, you're solving by graphing. Your graphing notes are on page 37. Again, you have to get it equal to 0 before you graph it. Everything has to be equal to 0 before you graph it. Number 7, read through. This tells you all the stuff you need to know. You don't even need to plug anything into your calculator. You need to sketch me a graph and then give the roots to George's equation. It'll be easy. Just read. Reading won't kill you. You will survive. I know some of you don't believe me, but it'll be okay. Here's a word problem, just like we did last week. Solving quadratic by the quadratic formula. You have solving by quadratic formula in your notes from before Thanksgiving. Remember, the discriminant is what's underneath the square root. Remember, the quadratic formula is negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. You're singing Pop Goes the Weasel in your head because that's how you remember it, right? Because Ms. Elmer's awesome at singing. Discriminant is whatever's underneath the square root, so that's just the b squared minus 4ac part. And then tell me the number and the type of roots you're going to have. Here, it's asking for the solution, so you're actually getting x equals something. X equals something. Here, I'm talking to you guys like I'm doing this semester review. Yeah, you know this from, oh yeah, before Thanksgiving. That's good. What am I talking about? Okay, I'm going crazy. All right, one of the solutions of this quadratic equation is an x equals 5 minus the square root of 57 over 8. What is the other solution? If that's one solution, you should be able from this solution to just give me the other solution. I'm going to let y'all think about it, and hopefully y'all will get to an answer. It's not hard. It's really easy. You should look at your notes. Here we got transformations, graphing, and transformations notes. I think you'll be able to do the rest. Again, on these, the function that you get at the bottom, plug it into your calculator and see if it gives you the same parabola. That's how you can check and make sure you're right. All right. Don't have too much fun without me. I hope you all rock the test on Wednesday and have fun doing Algebra 2. Adios.